country. It is our hope that their full participation will help us to be able to create the necessary employment, be it in the short term, medium term, and long term. It is indeed a worry for us as a department that them in particular and all South African citizens in our province and citizens in our province must ensure that any other effort and agenda that seeks to distract the work to deepen and strengthen our democracy to work for all of us, in particular our business, has got to be confronted. We're sitting at high levels of unemployment as a province, and government is introducing very strategic measures in our province. The State of the Province Address has outlined all those important interventions that government in its entirety will be able to do. Equally, from the recent budget speech, a big chunk of the budget, in fact, the second after social services, is allocated to these interventions that we're talking about. Government in its entirety to be able to make these interventions. One of them is through a rollout of massive infrastructural programs where our SMMEs are expected and should participate, of course, as part of our agenda to develop them, to be the main players into the mainstream economy, but also at the same time to be able to help us to create the necessary jobs that are important if our economy is going to be able to succeed to respond to our current challenges as a province, and I suspect the entirety of the of our country. Some of these interventions, of course, will be driven through investment, will be driven, of course, through manufacturing, will be driven, of course, through the natural endowment arising from our province. Of course, to also ensure that as a province, out of all these minerals which some are discovered lately, including those that were discovered some time ago, we are also able to contribute to mitigate against the consequences of the energy crisis. The province is on the right track. The State of the Province Address has indicated that. The budget speech of the MEC of this year will outline in details some of those interventions that we're intending to undertake so that we set our province on the new path of development. And we think that it must be our people who rise against any other thing that seeks to interrupt this evolution, this content that seeks to take our province somewhere so that we succeed to defeat unemployment, we succeed to defeat poverty, at the same time ensure that we roll out a massive program of a transformation of the economy in terms of the new ownership, and of course those who must enter the space of the economic activity must be provided with the necessary support. So we are on the right track, arising from the State of the Province Address by Premier Tukwana, and all departments, of course, through their budget votes, driven by the Department of the State, will outline, of course, their contribution in terms of that. We're looking forward to ensuring that the province increases its gross domestic product and our percentage increase towards the national gross domestic product to bring everybody on board, including the private sector, to come into the space and help us to take this economy at high levels of growth and development. So that's where we are, to remind our small businesses, including the mainstream economy in our province, that they've got to rise and ensure that the principle of our participation in democracy is being reinvigorated, and everybody else takes part in ensuring that we do not allow anybody and anything. Our economy has just emerged from the shock of COVID-19, as well as the 2008 financial meltdown. There has been a whole lot of many things, including national government has also appraised us that the issues between Ukraine and Russia has also contributed towards the downward spiraling of our economy. Now, all of those things have been shocks on our economy. Now, we're on the route of economic recovery, and all of us have got to play a role and participate and ensure that we succeed towards the economic recovery and reconstruction of the economy of our province. And we think that we're on the right track, and we're inviting everybody, especially those who participate in the economy, to help us distance themselves from any other thing. We can't afford the shutdown. As a small economy of the Free State province, where you've got, a small fiscal allocation, small population, almost half of it is grant dependent, and of course we are rural, and any other intervention must be appreciated in that context and has got to be embraced by everybody. Thank you very much.